May is Road to 50 million again. And today I want to talk about experiencing things. Experience is all that is life. I mean, we came here to experience things. Uh, and this is a different phase than wherever we were before, obviously, since things are new. We don't really remember where we were before, and we're uncertain about what comes next. But we have this framework. When we grow up, we're told certain things are good, bad, pleasant, unpleasant. Some things hurt and we avoid them and we judge them as, bad. This is a good thing. This is a bad thing. And we end up categorizing everything often, most of the time, without enough information and for no reason, at no long lasting reason. And then we keep those categories forever. So let me give you some examples. If I touch a stove and it burns my hand and I get blisters all over it, it hurts for 3 weeks, then you can say, wow, that was unfortunate. That was a bad experience, meaning I couldn't use my hand. Things happened to it and I burned it. Okay, so then I'm going to avoid that experience. What it also can do, depending on what else happened, is it can create irrational fears. I know someone right now who had an experience with eggs when they were young, and one of their parents dared one of their sibs to eat a raw egg or part of a raw egg or something, both of them. And it was such a traumatic experience that person swears to this day they don't like eggs. And, when you go into the experience, there really wasn't all that much to it, but it stays there. So this isn't intended to be a big psychobabble discussion about, you know, trauma and how we push things down and everything. But here's what I know. I know that when I choose, yesterday we used daring greatly. And we talked about when you dare greatly, you fail greatly. Well, I have three things: dare greatly, experience more deeply, and strive more joyously. And we'll talk about striving joyously tomorrow. Today, I want to talk about experiencing deeply. So I'm on a road. And the road that I'm on is 50, I'm on a road to 50 million. And I got this beautiful picture in the background. And I've got these hourglasses because my goal is limited in time. I've got 10 and a half months now of my year left to get where I'm going. And where I'm going is the mountain of 50 million right there. I'm getting to the mountain of 50 million. And the 50 million is you. I'm going to help 50 million people seize the pen of their lives and write the story they want to write. Sing the song you came to sing. Serve with your divine gifts and talents. Create purpose, prosperity, and joy in such a scale as you can't imagine it. Not in a slow trajectory. We're going to compress time. I'm going to show you the things that I've learned in rocky, bitter experience that allow that to happen. It isn't necessary to take the slow away. Now, here's the funny thing. We live in a world right now, I call it the download and double click world, right? When we have a problem, we expect it to be able to be solved in the length of a TV sitcom, right? Everything, solve it right away, the right people, the right thing shows up or whatever. Or else we can go to the internet and just get it, download, and double click. Well, the real world isn't like that. I've never seen anything of value grow or develop in that way. It takes time to grow, learn, mature, get experience, and become fully fruited if you're thinking about things growing in the ground or skills in our head. In order to do that, I have finally learned that I need to experience things deeply. I used to reject. So when something happened that I didn't like, or I did something I didn't feel good about, either I knew it or after the fact, I hated that feeling. And so I tried to avoid it. I would ignore it. In the years of addiction, I would numb it. I would do things to not experience that failure or that feeling or that embarrassment. I did that and I did it a lot. And it creates all kinds of barriers inside of us. You know that, and that's not news. What I've learned is making a choice to experience everything deeply. That doesn't mean I lollygag around in things that are not going like I want, but I don't avoid the feeling of disappointment or the feeling of I need to do that differently or better, or I need to reconsider, et cetera, et cetera. So this feeling has prevented me from growing, for example, my YouTube channel like I want to. Now, I made a declaration the other day that this coming September, October in Dallas, I'm going to be on the stage of Daryl Eves Vid Summit. And that's my commitment, and I say it out loud. Well, I've wanted to do that for other years, but I didn't want to experience the disappointment of critique of YouTube work that I was putting up. So because I didn't want to be wrong or bad or fail, I did not experience that and consequently didn't grow from it. It's the same thing that I've gone through in developing another talent that I have, which is my voice. Now, I've sung professionally for many years in choirs, but I haven't done a lot of solo work. And for some reason, maybe it's tied to the decades of depression and feeling not good enough, I was afraid of my solo voice. And I did not want to perform because I was afraid somebody wouldn't like it. And I did not want the experience. So I avoided the experience of having somebody not like what I was going to sing. And there are other things too, but singing is especially important to me. So what part of this road to 50 million is I'm making a commitment here on my road to reaching 50 million that I'm going to sing. I did one a couple of weeks ago, I think about the third week of this series called Invitation. It's a song that's one of the songs that goes on the third album. If you want to hear that one, go listen. And that's one. I'm going to do a lot more of those. I've got 37 songs that are coming. I'm going to record them all in performance in the, what do they call it? Unplugged. So I'm just going to be playing keyboard and singing, even though they're all recorded. Most of them are on Spotify, and the rest will be. If you're interested, just put my name in there. But none of that's the point. The point is I choose to experience whatever the outcome of that is. Success. The success is that I did it. Somebody else's opinion, I don't care. Not because I don't value them, but I choose not to let that affect me. So experiencing deeply is a choice that you and I make to allow whatever happens around us to fully experience that, even if I don't want to do it again. That helps me. So if I say something to you or to someone else and it offends you, then I have a couple of choices, or three choices. I can ignore it or make it your fault. I can minimize it and pretend that it didn't offend you, or I can allow myself to fully experience the sadness because I offended you. I offended you. I didn't mean to, and I fully experience that sadness, and then I do what I need to do to clean it up. That is what I mean by experiencing deeply, because by doing that, if I ignore you, if I hurt you and I ignore it, I don't learn anything. If I minimize it and pretend that it's not that bad, and I try to convince you that it's not bad because I don't want to fully experience this, that's a problem, because I don't learn very much from that experience. The same is true for positive things. If I have a positive thing happen, and I don't fully allow that in. I have a client right now that for a long time, it was a real struggle for this particular client to accept positive acknowledgement, a real struggle. And this client is learning to do that now, and the client's outlook about everything has changed, and he is now able to fully acknowledge and accept that. And that's experiencing deeply, because the act of having those feelings, whether I go back to my example, if I say something and I offend you or someone else, and I don't minimize it, I don't blame you, I don't ignore it. I can ignore it, I can minimize it. It's not that bad, or, some version of that. Or I can fully experience that. When I fully experience what happened, I'm able to make way better decisions. I'm able to say, okay, I really need to change that because that had an outcome that I really didn't want, and I fully experienced the didn't want part. When we hide it, we stuff it, we pretend it away, we're not doing anyone any favors, and we're certainly not engaging in personal growth. So now, there's a nuance here that's really important. I'm not saying wallow around in it. If you say something, somebody gets upset, oh no, feel bad for a year. I'm not talking about any of that, but fully experiencing things, positive things, negative things, not to dwell on them, not for judgment, not shame, not guilt. And so it's difficult in a very short time to explain this. But the three things go together. Those who want to elevate life, if you want to elevate your life, if you want to achieve your ultimate life, a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy, then dare greatly. Even if you fail greatly, I say dare greatly and carry a big blanket of forgiveness, right? Experience deeply so that all of the things that you understand, see, create, are part of have the effect on you that they should, to teach you something or me something, and to elevate our perception, our awareness, our listening skills. Everything is elevated. Nothing is elevated when we pretend stuff away and we don't fully experience whatever it is that's part of this experience in a given moment or day. And I memorialize that in my PTAC by saying, I am open. I lean into the growth from each experience. So I've taken the viewpoint that every experience gives me something. It's a positive experience and it was what I thought I was going to get or wanted or better. Oh, yay, I get to have that. And if it's a neutral or negative experience and didn't happen at all like I want, I no longer shun or hide from those things. I lean into them and I say, what do I learn? What do I know? What do I need to clean up? What needs to happen here so that I can lean into the growth from this experience? So this is your challenge today. Experience deeply. It will give you a boost. It will move you more quickly to develop your gifts and talents, to love and serve those around you more deeply and better. I know it. I've seen it. I do it. And I learned it the hard way. And my point in making any of these is to help you, perhaps in your situation, learn these things faster and easier than I did, because I never had the kind of things that I'm giving now. I never had a coach. I never had someone helping me, which is, of course, is why I lived for 35 years with depression and never talked to anyone. Can you even think about that? From leaving home at 17 till I was 52, I never got any help. I believed everything was my fault and lived in that certainty. That was not good, and I could have done something, but I didn't understand. My goal is to have no one have any doubt about their ability. You have any doubt about your ability to have purpose, prosperity, and joy. And I have my three invitations. My first invitation is, if you watching this are living a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy, and you're happy every day, will you please reach out? I want to talk to you. I love to get to know more people that are living that ultimate life as I have now learned to do. The second invitation is this: if you need any help, if there's anything I can do to help you discover and serve with your gifts, that might mean just discover them. It might mean turn it into a business. It might mean figure out how to make money with it. It might mean figure out how to share it or enjoy it. I'd like to talk to you and see what I can do to help, because that's my 50 million. I'm committed to help 50 million people to discover and serve with their gifts. The third invitation I have is to get to 50 million. I need all the help I can get. So if there's some help you'd like to offer to help me, and we can together reach people, to encourage them, love them, lift their hearts and spirits, I'd love to hear from you for that reason. Those are my three invitations. I give you all the love and encouragement I can this day and every day, and I'll be back tomorrow with another chapter on the road to 50 million.